Joining us now is John Rother. He's Executive Vice President of Policy at AARP. Mr. Rother, thank you very much for coming on the show tonight. I appreciate it.
Good evening.
Now, on the surface, it looks like your organization, AARP, and 60 Plus could be rival groups. Are we looking at a turf war between your two competing organizations here, or is there something that's fundamentally different about these two groups?
Well, we represent 40 million members, 50 and older. We don't know if they have members or what they do when there's not a big controversy, but clearly they're funded primarily by corporate interests, especially pharmaceuticals. So there's a big difference. We take no corporate money. We have no pharmaceutical money. Our income is from member dues and the services and products that members buy.
One of the things that we have talked about on this show is the investigation that the AARP Bulletin did a couple of years ago into why 60 Plus was opposing pharmaceutical reform at the state level. Can you tell us what that organization found about this group?
Well, we hired an independent investigator and found that 60 Plus in that year was taking most of its money from the pharmaceutical industry and kind of using it as a screen to pretend that they were really representing the interests of seniors. When in fact, of course, seniors very much want more affordable medications. But 60 Plus never owned up to who was funding it until well after the fact.
You know, everybody is being hit with misinformation about healthcare reform. But one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, Mr. Rother, is because it seems like seniors are being targeted with some of the scariest allegations. Do you think that is by design, that older people are being singled out for these type of scare tactics? Have you seen this kind of strategy before?
I don't think you can look at those commercials and not conclude that seniors are the target of a very intentional scare campaign. And many seniors, of course, are worried about change because they depend on Medicare. They are perhaps not in the greatest of health, and they definitely want to know that Medicare will be there, their doctor will be there when they need it. So change can be a little scary. On the other hand, when we've looked at this bill and we've read every page, we've concluded that the bills proposed in the Congress would be good for seniors, would actually help them afford their medications better, make sure that doctors are there when they need them. So we feel there's nothing to be scared about in the actual legislation.
I know that you're the Executive Vice President of Policy at AARP, and your job is to be analytical and to do these things sort of to the letter and into the service of your members. But I just have to ask you if it makes you mad to see fear-mongering of America's seniors over this issue or any policy issue. Does it? For me, it makes me feel protective and angry.
It certainly makes me angry because there are real issues, and people should be engaged in this debate. But to scare people, to raise these bogus issues, to intentionally mislead a big part of the population is a it's a subversion of democracy, and it does make me mad. And I think that the news media, such as yourself, are starting to catch on to what's going on.
John Rother, Executive Vice President of Policy for the American Association of Retired Persons, AARP. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, sir. Thank you.